If you're in the market to purchase real estate, some of the questions that you may be asking are, what are closing costs? How much are they? And more importantly, who is responsible for paying them? If that's you, continue to watch this video as I seek to give you a clear understanding of exactly what closing costs are. Hi, I'm Shana Rivers, your Atlanta real estate broker, making home ownership simple. One big fee that comes along with purchasing a home, other than your down payment, are your closing costs. Closing costs are typically anywhere between 2 and 5% of the sales price of the home that you are buying. That can vary based upon what type of loan you're buying. So closing costs are fees that are associated with purchasing real estate. These fees are due on the day that you're closing on the real estate property. Some fees that could be included in your closing cost are listed here, but not limited to. Closing costs typically are very negotiable. However, when you're in a very competitive market, it's very unlikely to get a seller to contribute to your closing costs. So I like to tell my buyers, just be prepared to pay your own closing costs depending on how badly you love this home. Is it your dream home? And are you willing to put forth that money, right? So keep in mind that closing on a house is your responsibility. In a real estate transaction, closing costs are typically one of the fees that are very negotiable. So in this area of Gwinnett County, I wanted to show you guys today just who is paying closing costs, just to better prepare my buyers when they enter into this real estate market on what type of money they need to have saved in preparation to be successful in finding a home and being able to buy it. I'm going to show you a few homes in Gwinnett County today that have closed just in the past few weeks, and hopefully this will give you an understanding just so you can see the real live numbers, real live closings of who is actually paying closing costs. When you are getting ready to submit an offer, I know that before a lot of buyers wanted to ask for a certain percentage of closing costs. Well, when you're in a competitive market and you have 10 offers and you know you have to come with your A game when it comes time to making an offer, a seller is typically looking to net the most along with some other terms, but we all know that we're in the market selling a property more than likely to make money, and most sellers want to make the most money that they can. So that often comes with a buyer being able to cover their own closing cost. So let's hop on over to my handy dandy screen and let's look at some real live numbers so that you guys can actually see actual data and get an understanding of who is paying these closing costs. All right, so we are here in our MLS system. This is a system that realtors use to kind of come in, get comps, figure out what things are going for. You might have gotten these as listings in your email address from your agent or myself if we're working together. But this is one of the ways that we can kind of see exactly what's happening in the market. And what I did, as you can see, in the last 25 days, there have been 146 closings in Gwinnett County that are public records and in the database in the FMLS. So let's pay attention to a few numbers here. The first one is the list price, right? So you have, this is the price that we see that hit Zillow. This is what we think we're getting ready to buy the house for. The second one is your sales price. And the CC stands for closing cost. If any closing costs were paid by the seller, they would be listed here. So in this case, we have the property sold for what it was listed at and no closing costs were paid. Let's look at the next example. This property went a little bit less than the asking price. No closing costs were paid. Example number 3, we have it went for the asking price and $5,000 in closing costs were paid. Here we go. $335 actually sold for $350 and 0 closing costs were paid. Here we have a new construction home. List price, sold for list price. Same thing here. We have $500 in closing costs that were paid, and that is probably either a negotiation for a repair, and it also could be like a home warranty or something like that for $500. Here we go, $20,000 above, 0 closing costs paid. List price $340, 0 closing costs paid, sold for $362,500. 0 closing costs, $3,000 above. Now here's one. List price was $470, sales price was $447. This may have been an issue with the appraisal coming in lower and the seller agreeing to reduce the price, or maybe a repair even came in or something major that needed to be done. And possibly they came down on the price to compensate for that. This house was built in 2009. But again, 0 closing costs. Here we have some closing costs paid, $3,500. And how many of that is that paid anything? Maybe 2 out of 12. We are on property number 12. So let's go through. We're just going to look at 2 more. Here we are, $380 went $5,000 above, 0 closing costs paid. Here we go, went under $5,000, only $150 were paid. So what is really $150 in the greater scheme of things when closing costs can be up to 3-4% of the sales price of the home? All right, so hopefully that helps you kind of get an understanding of where we are with that when it comes to closing costs and who is paying them. If the seller isn't contributing to the closing costs, typically it is coming from the buyer. All right, so I hope that helped you get a clear understanding of who is paying closing costs right now in Gwinnett County. Now, I will tell you that I have been able to negotiate some closing costs for my clients based upon the length of time that this house has sat on the market, the things or maybe repairs that needed to be made, and just a few other factors. But keep in mind and be prepared that sellers want to make the most money, so you right now need to be prepared to pay your own closing costs. As you can see, based upon the information that I just showed you, it is very common right now for sellers to be paying very little or contributing very little to the buyers during a real estate transaction. So I hope this video helped you. If you are interested in talking to me more about real estate, buying real estate, feel free to use the link in the bio or connect with me. Set up a consultation. They're 15 minutes and it'll help kind of give you an understanding of where you are. If I need to direct you to the proper people, let's do that. Let's talk. My team and I would love to be of assistance to you and help you purchase your new home. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more amazing real estate content, and definitely share it with someone who you know may need to hear this or might be in the market with you in purchasing real estate. So share my video, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.